Welcome to Inside Toledo. My name is Tim McMahon. This is a show where we go inside the homes of residents of Northwest Ohio without actually going inside their home. My guest right now is the head coach of the University of Toledo women's basketball program. It's Tricia Cullop. Tricia, thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
First off, how are you adjusting to this sort of quarantine work from home situation that we're going through? Because it kind of abruptly went right into your season and then that was it.
Yeah, that was tough. I think more so than anything, I just felt really bad for our seniors. Our team went through some adversity this year with some injuries and in the middle we were hanging with teams but didn't have enough firepower to get past them. And I think when we got into the conference tournament, that last week of our play, we were playing some of our best basketball. We had knocked off Central Michigan, who was number one twice in a week, and felt very, very good heading into the semifinals. It's unfortunate. I hate it for our seniors. I love those kids. And this was a very tight-knit group. And there were a lot of tears, not just by the seniors, but by the underclassmen who really enjoyed playing with this group. But as far as adjusting, it's a little different getting to adjust to working from home all the time, not seeing our team. In my life, I'm used to running into a lot of different people. At this time, I'd be doing home visits with recruits in their home area. I would have already finished that. And, we didn't get the chance to do that. I had to do it virtually, which is the first time I've done a lot of that. I've learned more about technology than I want to admit. I'm kind of a novice. My staff has had a lot of laughs hooking me up to Zoom and all the different ways and means that we do that. But, I've also just tried to make sure I'm staying in touch with family and friends and doing some things I don't normally get a chance to do.
So you mentioned sort of doing the chats like we're doing right now. Day-to-day operations, which I assume you were in Savage Arena. So your office is at home now. Day-to-day, how have you changed?
Well, I'm president of my coaches association, so the WBCA, and we've been putting together an online convention. As you're probably aware, with the Final Four being canceled, we had to find another means to educate our coaches, to connect them, to continue to be one during this time. And so we decided to put together a convention that was online, which is really kind of cool because it's the first time we've been able to get all of the top 16 coaches in the country at every level to participate in the convention. Usually, think about it, 4 of them are busy coaching. And there's probably at least another 6 to 8 that are upset they didn't make the Final Four, so they're not always in attendance. So this is one of the neatest times to collect that group, which is very talented, and ask them to participate, but also connecting with our team daily. I FaceTime with a lot of our kids. We have a Zoom call later on today that we do every Wednesday. My staff does a staff Zoom call twice a week because recruiting's moving very quickly at this time, and we want to make sure that we're staying on top of that. And our strength coach has been very creative with some workouts our kids can do at home. Our staff has had to create park and driveway workouts for our team. And so this is our time on the Wednesday call to explain those things. And so, that's kind of interesting as well. But, I just think it's kind of interesting as we kind of go through it that it's a time that we can be creative.
Now, before we got on this call, I had mentioned I got an alert on my LinkedIn that it said, congrats to Tricia Cullop for 12 years at University of Toledo. So I don't know your official start date, but it's been more than a decade that you've been in Toledo. Do you officially feel like you are a Toledoan now?
I do. It's taken, it took me a few years to probably feel that way, but I can finally drive around without my GPS. I know what Tony Paco's is. I've been to all the Mancy restaurants. I can tell you all the fun ice cream places, Handles and Mr. Freeze, where they're located. So I think, it's fun. I feel like this is home. I have a lot of family. People that I would consider family here. They're my second family. Yeah. And this community has been unbelievable to not only me, but to our program. And it really does feel like home.
Where do you want to start on this tour? Where do you want to go?
My office away from home. This is kind of my little corner of the world where I do a lot of my calls to recruits to talk to the people at the WBCA. This is kind of my area. I'll laugh with you during this time. This is one of my dogs. This is Rocky.
Hello.
And then this is Maggie. So these two may add something to the tour as we go. I don't know, but that's kind of my office away from home. And it's I'm surprised how much time I am spending in there, just because trying to find some normalcy and a little bit of a routine. So I'm in there quite a bit. I will show you one of my favorite areas of this house, and one of the reasons why I bought it was just an opportunity for some outside space. I like being outside. I'm a country girl. This area right here, I don't know the way you can see this.
Oh yeah, nice.
But yeah. So when you walk outside here, the best addition I put up was an outside TV. That's kind of my area. This is my area my sanctuary when I get home. I love being outside, and so anytime. And the cool thing about this neighborhood is that a lot of the people that live around here actually go to our games. They're dear friends of mine, and so anytime some of us are outside, what's really cool is you can kind of see that pond in back of me. A lot of the people that live around this pond are very close, and we'll walk around to each other's houses and sit down and talk. And I love this neighborhood. I'm very lucky to have some people that are just great friends of mine that live here, and also give me a hard time about our games.
That's how you know they're friends, when they feel comfortable being able to do that. Okay, so we saw the outside area. Do you have other areas of your home that are favorite rooms that sort of really represent who you are as a person?
Well, I'll show you a couple things. One is my new puzzle area. It used to be called a dining room table, but I don't have one out now. But this was an area that I actually worked about 4 different puzzles so far, and I've also done some online Yahtzee and bingo with some friends and family members. That's been a lot of fun. And then I'm going to walk you downstairs to my basement. This is kind of a finished basement. Probably the best purchase that I made in the off season was this Peloton treadmill. I tell you, I'm used to being a player that got yelled at by her coaches, and now that I have the Peloton lady who yells at me to work out, this is kind of just a hangout area. Nice. It's kind of like a second living room. When my team's over, this is a really cool space just to hang out. But as far as working out, this area right here has been an area that I've spent a lot of time in this downtime, just to kind of burn some different burn some calories, because we could all use that, right? But also just some frustration maybe of not being able to do what you want to do. I'll show you a little bit more of this area, but it's just kind of a fun space. Yeah. So kind of a fun space, and also a place to remember some great players. There's one of them.
You showed Nama there on the wall. Are you in contact with a lot of your former players that, of course, have moved on and, across the globe? Because this is, obviously not just something going on in our country, but around the world. Are you in contact with them to sort of see how they're doing and adapting?
I am. I reached out. I just talked to her yesterday just for a little bit. She and I WhatsApp a lot with each other. Because I asked her, I said, how's it going there? What's it like in Israel? And she said, she's home in Hoshaya now with her family, and spending some time with them. She's married and has a brand new baby. And so obviously she's got to be very smart during this time. But I am in touch with a lot of our alums. I think the one thing I always tell our recruits when they choose Toledo is it's kind of like you're joining a basketball sorority. Once you join, you're in for life, and we're not going to stop checking on you or helping you after you graduate. You do become a family. You spend way too much time together to not have that type of feel, and I really love that part about coaching, the relationships. I love this community, and we've been we just found out the other day we're 26 in the country in attendance, and that means top 30 last 8 out of 9 years. But I'm so indebted to this community for those kind of things. In return, I also just want to say to all of them, please stay healthy. Keep doing what we're asked to do by the CDC, and let's all make sure that when we are able to get out and see each other again, that we make the most of it. I think this is a great time to kind of reflect and appreciate all those things we kind of take for granted. And I know that when we do get to see our fan base again, I can't wait to just tell them thank you again.
Well said. And we love having you here, and we hope for many years to come. Thank you very much, Tricia, for joining us.
Thank you.